welcome back for another edition of the Club Cool podcast. I'm your host, Barrett Dudley, back in our regularly scheduled time here at the Wash Media Studios, brought to you by Wash Media, and I'm joined on the other side of the table by Mr. Walkthrough himself. It's Phil Battaglia. This guy's out here. He's walking through. He's going through while doing some walking. It's all the houses. It's all the houses in the neighborhoods. Mr. Walkthrough, Mr. Phil, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, man.
Good to have you. Good to have you here.
Yeah, glad to be here.
I want to start off today's podcast. We got some couple of good segments. Talk about some bubbling stuff. Some stuff that's out there on the forefront, on the cutting edge. Because that's where we reside. It's the intersection of pop culture and style, but it's right out there on just the absolute bleeding edge. But first, I want to do some shout outs. I want to shout out, first and foremost, to our boy Lakeith Stanfield, who wore custom Yves Saint Laurent at the Oscars this past Sunday.
Oh, yeah. That was cool.
He's in on the jumpsuits.
Uh-huh.
And, my question is, why have you not been wearing yours to the podcast?
I wouldn't look like that.
Well, this is a formal
jumpsuit.
It's a formal J suit. Yeah, it's obviously very 70s. It's very disco, and not a whole lot of people could pull this off.
Right.
But my God, did he ever?
Mm-hmm.
He also did you check the clock the dome?
Yeah.
Little bleach blonde buzz, huh?
It looks great.
It does look nice. I feel certain that these are Jacques Marie Mege. I probably said that wrong, but I feel like they have that look of the super chunky acetate, but they might just be Saint Laurent. I don't know. Anyway, he was not actually at the ceremony. I don't believe. I believe he was live from Paris because he was doing something special there. But that was probably fine because he probably just went right by the atelier to pick this thing up.
Good for him. Straight
from Vaccarello himself, one might imagine. So, shouts to Lakeith Stanfield for keeping his foot down on the pedal that is the J-suit.
I'm afraid that I've breached the J-suit weather. I think
You've missed it.
I got one off 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I got one last wear.
Maybe a little vacay is what you need for a J-suit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That'd be comfy on a plane.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No boxers, no drawers on the plane though, right? Just like a master's caddy. Yeah. Speaking of the weather, I know that people wait on pins and needles for this announcement from me, but I started making the closet flip today.
Yeah, very good.
Because you're absolutely right. The weather has turned. I swear to God, it was never this humid last year.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we are on a stretch of max humidity. It feels like Houston. And I think what's actually happening is that this is the first year that we have a smart thermostat, an Ecobee, which registers your humidity.
Oh.
And it's just at ungodly levels due to old shitty windows that we have.
Mm-hmm.
And I just constantly feel like a disgusting bag of sweat. And it's not good, man. I don't know what to do.
Coming from H-Town.
I got a little dehumidifier. I don't think it's doing the trick.
No.
I feel like I need something giant.
You need a little humidity in there.
Yeah, like 50 to 60%.
What are you at?
We're getting up over 60 constantly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good for the clothes, man.
No, it's not.
It's not. They can't be just hanging out in 70%.
Put
humidity.
the dehumidifier in the closet.
Well, I've got a little hanging one for the closets.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's got these little beads in it. They go from orange to green. They go to green way too quick.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, started packing up the outerwear and the flannels. Started moving in the shorts, the camp collars. You know,
I need some new shorts.
Yeah, well, I mean, just check out the episode with Dave.
Right.
All about shorts. It's a shorts extravaganza. Do you remember 2 years ago when we did our shorts episode?
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the most popular episodes ever. You can go back and listen to that one too if you want. We've had some requests. We always get them, but they kind of, these requests came up on the Circling Back Discord that we need more women's fashion talk. And if anybody out there has a good idea for a guest that you think would come on the show to talk to us about women's fashion? Because I think we each have like a vision of what we like as far as women's goes, but I don't know if we can articulate it as well as we can with the
I can.
with the men's stuff, you know. And my what I favor is always so influenced by what I like in men's that I'm nervous to speak about it because I don't want to just push everybody into some like tomboy bomber jacket bullshit. You know what I mean? I don't know.
It's a good look.
Let's see. More shout outs. What else did I want to give a shout out to? Oh, I wanted to give a shout out to Ama Manier, which is a little shop that based out of Atlanta, I believe, that released a special edition Jordan 3 that was highly sought after. The official drop was this morning, and they went the union route. There were lots of manual dubs. A lot of people, as long as you were quick on that link, we had a really high percentage chance of getting the sneaker. And the stores seem to be following this model a little bit more, where it's like a total redirect on the site. It's not something that monitors can pick up quickly.
Yeah.
Like there's a CAPTCHA that bots can't figure out. And, we're waiting on you, Sneakers app. We're waiting on you.
Good. You're going to keep waiting, man.
What else? Oh, I wanted to shout out the pre-clean before a housekeeper comes.
Yeah.
Because it's always incredibly stressful, and you hate yourself for having to clean before the house gets cleaned.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also just it's a good reminder of how much of a slob you are.
Well, Barrett, we don't have a housekeeper.
You got to pick up. We just recently we're doing once a month.
That's good.
Yeah. The thing of like, I'm never going to get the entire house to the level of clean all at the same time that hiring a professional will get for you.
So
you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. We're in a little over 1,000 square feet, so I'm constantly actually not cleaning. Every day there's something getting clean because in that somewhat small of a space, to us it's a great footprint. It can get dirty quick.
Yeah.
You're doing all your living in the 3 rooms that you have, 4 rooms.
Yeah.
So,
and especially these days when, you are really living in that house.
Oh, we're living.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, you're living, baby.
Yeah. I can't imagine going through some of these houses that I've shown that are upwards of 6 to 10,000 square feet. What do you do? You have hired help that's there every day.
Probably.
Yeah.
And if you can afford a 7,000 square foot house in Austin and the surrounding area, then I'm pretty sure you can.
That's a lot of help, though, man. That's a big bill to tote.
Yeah, it is. But I don't know. Like, maybe you have kids. You make the kids clean their portion.
Yeah.
But you know how that goes. They never do it.
Yeah.
Constantly yelling at them.
You yell at your kids?
Yeah. Just all day long. Clean your damn room. They never listen. I also wanted to give a shout out to StockX, surprisingly, speaking of resale. I had a seller not ship the shoes that I had a bid accepted.
Pull them up?
Seller didn't accept the shoes. And, I waited like 5 days, 3 business days total before hitting up the StockX the chat line. And
because they have no phone number.
But I just wanted to give ample time. I did the chat through the website, and they were like, "Oh, yeah, the seller hasn't shipped. Okay, do you want us to see if we can reconnect you with a seller?" And I was like, "Sure. How does that work?" And they were like, "Well, we'll just, we'll use our system. It'll just take a minute. We'll see if we can connect you with the seller." And I'm like, "Are you just putting in my bid? Are you just putting back in my bid or something? Like, what's going on here?" And they were like, "Yeah, haha, sort of."
Yeah. LOL.
Do you want us to run the test, basically? And I was like, "Sure." And then within 30 seconds, they were like, "Yep, that worked." And the shoes were already like en route to StockX. They were there. They were verified. The turnaround was awfully quick.
That's great, man.
And so my question is, what do you think's happening there? Because I've actually been wondering why. I went for it was a dumb decision. I shouldn't have done it.
You were hoping they weren't going to ship.
yeah, kind of. There's the Hyper Royals.
You
The
love
ones. Yeah.
Those are cool, dude. I bet they'll go with a lot.
But I'm still having a little bit of buyer's regret. So we'll see.
Wait till they come.
Yeah,
get in
once they get in, that will probably
so,
ease.
This is reminiscent of our time with Man Outfitters. Do you recall how the customer service crew would take the route of making the complaint right and then deal with the aftermath?
Yes.
So I guarantee you that StockX just found another pair for you, exactly what you wanted. They foot the bill for them,
Right.
and then went and dealt with that other seller.
Yeah. I think that's probably right. But I was thinking about, even before I had a seller basically bail on the transaction, I was thinking about how it's a little bit surprising that StockX isn't running more of like a Bernie Madoff type program. And what I mean by that is, right, like, don't you think that they have enough sales, enough volume going on, that basically when a size 10 gets in, verified, checked in, it goes like I'm thinking it's not like a 1-to-1 buyer to seller.
Right. It's like a bank.
It's more like a bank.
Yes.
So they have these coming in, and then as you're, maybe this pair was sold for a later transaction, but then it gets there first, or a previous transaction.
Exactly.
And it goes to a transaction that was made ahead of that.
That's
one.
right.
So you're just constantly like fulfilling, basically.
Right. They're keeping a lot of inventory.
Yes, right.
And it doesn't matter who you connected with.
Yes.
That shoe might come from another seller.
So I think that's kind of what's happening anyway.
Yeah.
I think that's why they were able to make this happen so quickly, is because they have enough volume coming in.
It's a great model.
And maybe enough like buyers flaking as well, to where, we have a 10 in stock that we received, and then a buyer canceled the transaction. Credit card didn't go through, like something like that.
Yeah.
But it just, I imagine a scenario that's even better for StockX. I mean, not as if they aren't crushing it already, but if you just knew that when you had a bid accepted, that like that pair of shoes was shipping the next day or two, you didn't have to do the whole waiting for a seller to send it in, then it gets there, then it's under verification, then it ships to you, right? It's like a 10-day process, sometimes 2 weeks. Like, I feel like that would have a lot more people pulling trig, as we say around these parts.
Yeah, because then you would be essentially a retailer, though.
Yeah.
You just keep the inventory, the price fluctuates. The only difference is the price fluctuates between you and a retailer.
Right.
But then what's tricky is, like, aren't you asked to leave a review for the seller?
Not on StockX.
You're not? Huh. So maybe that is exactly how they're doing it.
It might be. They might be doing more of that behind the scenes than we realize. Yeah.
Huh.
But
I love hearing good customer service stories.
Yeah.
Because, see, we're talking about it. It'll keep you coming back.
Right. No, totally.
If you had had a terrible one, you probably would have still gone back.
Well,
but
no, you're right. It's definitely, this was definitely a positive experience.
Yeah.
And even though I try to keep off of that place, the next time that I am lured back in, I will.
You will be.
I'll have a a positive.
There'll be some dunks
taste
calling
in my
your
mouth.
name.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's a little bit about why I had buyer's regret here with these, is because I was like, oh, I could have gotten some dunks, some dunk lows.
Yeah.
Which I'm 0 for 47 on sneakers app with.
Well,
so.
Flip them and then get back into some dunks.
I'll lose money. But yeah, no. Remember when we were talking about By George a few weeks ago? I had some friends asking for like women's clothing places recommendations, because they needed like some dresses for like a beachy wedding type thing, and I recommended a bunch of places. Didn't include By George in there.
No, hell no.
And it's not because By George was like would have priced anybody out. It's because I don't want to go put somebody into a negative experience like
Correct.
that.
Yeah.
So it's totally right. I think that wraps up my shout outs, Phil. Today's podcast, it's brought to you by our Patreon, patreon.com/clubcool. I put out our new April's Best Shit on the Internet list just yesterday, I believe, maybe the day before, who can recall. and it's getting a lot of hype. And I will say that more so than in other months, I'm hovering on confirmed purchase on everything on this list.
Ooh.
It's good stuff. It's really good stuff. A lot of time, I'm like, oh, this is a good deal. This is a good steal. I'm kind of pitching out suggestions, like if you need this, this is all stuff that I have carded that I personally vouch for and would absolutely try out. So it's a good one. Patreon.com/clubcool. You get that list for our entry level trim package, $2 a month. But you're going to get more. You'll get the wish list, which is more directional, higher end editorial, and some bonus pods as well if you're an extremely cool person and you go for our $5 tier. So check that out, patreon.com/clubcool. Phil, Convo today will center on a couple of brands. One that has kind of, I won't say out of nowhere, but it does feel like kind of overnight has turned into like the designer darling. And then I also want to talk about a brand new brand that is inspired by some previous designer darlings. Where would you like to start? New brand or hot brand?
Let's go new.
Let's go new brand. Okay. So, a brand has bubbled up here in the last few weeks. I've only discovered it maybe a week or two ago. It is called Seekings, and it is started and created and designed and produced by a guy named Mark Seekings.
What a name.
And he comes from the Kanye school, essentially. Just like Virgil and Don C. and I think the guy that did Jound. He was a creative contributor and collaborator on Kanye West's Donda. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't either.
Do you?
No.
Okay. There's not a lot about this guy otherwise. I think there's a podcast interview with him on Hypebeast podcast from a year or two ago, and there's like a little interview on the Harry's blog, like the Razors blog, which basically just talks about how he like is a cool creative guy.
Is this the top of his head?
No, that's the top of Julian Casablancas' head.
Okay.
Lead singer of The Strokes.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you've heard of him.
Yeah.
So, but that's this guy's credentials. That's his, his skins on the wall is that he is a creative director, artistic designer type collaborative person that works pretty closely with musicians or has in the past.
And they're running a great promo right now. Free shipping for anything over 500.
Yeah. And on top of that, I mean, you want to talk about good customer experience.
Yes.
Right here.
All sales are final.
Brand new brand. Nobody has ever heard of him until the last few weeks, basically.
Don't know if it'll fit at all.
Don't know if it'll fit. Who knows? And
That's great.
all sales are final, and we'll ship it to you for free if you spend over $500. So, now, jokes aside, what he's doing is interesting to me because he is clearly he's pulled the site design straight from Saint Laurent. This is exactly what Saint Laurent's website and web shop e-commerce platform looks like. He is clearly very inspired by, and I think has even said as much, that they are what he is trying to do is pick up essentially where like Hedi left Dior and Saint Laurent. So it's very much the kind of the rocker chic aesthetic, but it has like some kind of California skate vibes as well. I'll go over here and pull up his Instagram as well, so you can kind of see he's constantly wearing just like a pair of white Vans old schools. And I don't know. I mean, I was having our Amiri conversation from last week kind of sparked some conversation, and I was talking to some of our listeners, and like I talked about how the whole that actually looks like a John Elliott promo campaign in front of the desert like that. That looks super familiar. I was talking about how like the whole like, and we spoke to it a little bit last week with the Amiri thing, but the Los Angeles, like, kind of rocker, grungy, chic, leather, like, just kind of like bad boy type thing, it's always an influence. It's always, like, present, and it's always cool. I never am like, oh, no, that shit's lame. It's just, what happened is that kind of, you know, very fitted, very tight, very kind of showy look faded a little bit. So the fact that maybe what he's trying to do is kind of reignite that with a 2021 twist. Like, I'm curious to see what he does here. And I do think that the other people that came out of Donda, that came from being Kanye collaborators, I mean, Kanye picked people that were good at what they did. And so that's a bonus as well, is that most of these guys have been pretty successful with their endeavors. So it will be interesting to kind of see where this goes, basically, for Mr. Seekings here. How you feel about the overall vibe?
Looks cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
A very big fan of the headwear. The 2021 has just been me.
The foam dome.
It's just been me. I don't know. I've been super into looking at hats this year. I don't know.
There's
why.
a lot of good headwear, but most of it I couldn't pull off, like those.
Why can you pull the?
It's too tall.
Yeah, I can't tell how tall it is or isn't. Look at the side view here.
Yeah, that's tall.
You think that's tall?
Uh-huh. It's very structured, whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's $200, yeah? Or no, 185.
185.
Okay.
Not 200, Phil.
Not
It's
bad.
under 200.
That's a steal.
Yeah. You just can't find stuff like this anywhere else. Another big thing that I wanted to another string that I wanted to pull out here. So he's got this. His only solid color hoodie is red, and he talked about on the Instagram basically about how he's basically been after this very, very specific red for a long time. Like, and it took, you know, he really, really sampled and lab dipped and like did all this stuff to find this red.
It looks great.
Which is not a pink. But it's not like a crimson. It's like this hot red. And yeah, I'm pretty intrigued by it. I think it's here's the description. California red color is another super personal one in the collection. For years, I'd been chasing this very particular shade of warm, hot red. It's not neon, it's not pink, it's just a very specific tone of red. And so, I don't know. Especially in the early stages with these new brands like this, it's always fun to hear from the designers like that and these little anecdotes. Like, oh, this is why I was going after this red. This is the specific thing I wanted. And, you know, we were having a Howler design meeting the other day, and I just bringing up various brands and talking about what they go through. And the positive of or one of the things that always sounds fun about having a brand where you're priced like this, where you're priced super, super, super high, is that part of what goes into that is that you're just sparing no expense when it comes to sampling.
Yeah.
And dipping, and like you get the color in, and it's not right. You say, no, I want it 20% more this way. No, bring the yellow down, and you're just constantly going back. And it's like for a you know, a mid-range label or a something more accessible, like, you know, we make decisions, we sample it, and then bulk fabric comes in. Bulk fabric does not always match the sample roll perfectly. In fact, it oftentimes is a little bit different, and that we have to roll with it. Like, we don't really have a choice because we got bolts of fabric being made. But it's once you're into this price point, it's like you just have the ability, because there's not really, because you're either making smaller rolls or because you're okay with just straight up canceling fabric that got produced and just taking the liability cost. And so that's why you can do things like work on this very, very specific tone of red for 2 years until you put it out. Anyway, I enough about red. I think it's a cool color. I'm not always that drawn to red. I'm very drawn to this red.
Totally, I like it. Now I'm looking at everything red around us. I'm like, ooh, that looks very similar, but it's not quite.
Randy's got his Nalgene over there. That's actually more like a Halloween red, I would say, than a California red. Looks like blood. You drinking blood over there, Randy?
Yeah, he's nodding. No words.
But the Tupperware over here.
Yeah, and this
top of the HEB Tupperware.
Little mic.
Man,
piece.
it's
Inspiration is all around us, Barrett.
It is all around us, Phil. I'm glad you said that.
God.
So yeah, something to look out for. I thought that I did actually. Well, I didn't know what to think. I didn't know what the hype level on this was going to be.
What? Go to it real quick. What's the?
Because the brand itself, the brand on Instagram,
or no, the hoodie. What is it made of?
He 7,000 followers. That's that's a low following.
Yeah, totally.
For a brand new luxury brand like this. What's the what now?
Is it like cotton terry or what? 100% cotton.
No, it's no, that's a fleece back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
18-ounce 3N fleece.
If it's 18 ounces, is that pretty heavy?
Yeah. It's a good weight. It's like a medium heavyweight.
Okay.
Anything over 20 heavyweight. So, yeah.
I like that a lot.
He's got the Kanye connection. I don't know if that's good or bad at this point.
Is this on Essence?
No. This is just straight from his website.
But I mean, not offered any other.
No, not yet. No, this is hot out the kitchen, direct to consumer. And what was I going to say? Yeah, just be curious to see how this evolves and if it can be successful. Oh, and I was talking about I didn't know if this stuff would sell out quickly or not.
Yeah, that looks like Todd Snyder.
It does, or Tom Ford.
Yeah,
or Saint Laurent. Yeah. So, relatively small initial collection. And I'll be interested to see what he does from here. He went, you probably enjoy this, but he went for a pretty skinny jean to launch as well.
Very good.
And
very
so even though we feels like we're kind of phasing out of this fit of denim.
Think again, and it's a 27 waist. I like that.
He's bringing it back.
That's a good looking jean.
It's a beautiful washed indigo jean.
That's nice. Go to the back pocket. That's pretty cool. I bet not all of them look like that, but just that little worn in
the wallet
detail.
Yeah. I got some of those on my jeans.
Nice. I'm a front pocket.
I keep my wallet in the same exact pocket.
How about that?
I'll sell you a pair of 12-year-old rag and bone jeans that I have with this pocket worn in.
Really?
And I'll give you a discount. Instead of $650, I'll give them to you for $550.
Are all sales final?
All sales are final.
Damn.
And your purchase. Because it's $550, I'm going to give you free shipping.
That's nice.
Yeah.
What if I want to return them to you here in the studio? You won't accept. I just throw them at you across the table. You'll throw them back?
No returns allowed.
Okay.
Yeah.
No takebacks. I hate a final sale.
Yeah.
I really do. Unless it's on sale. You know what I mean?
I hate that. It's okay to a point. If it's like some places,
that makes more sense.
Yes, it does. But in some places we'll do like if the discount is over X, then it's final sale.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like. I mean, you should accept returns.
Yeah, you should.
For clothing, you kind of need to you need to accept returns, and at the very least, I don't even like what Ame does, but at least you can return it and get store credit.
Yeah, right.
So at least you get something back. At least you can correct the mistake.
Yeah. You don't have to live with it.
You don't have to. You don't.
And then try and sell it.
Totally live with it, and then try to sell it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's Seekings. Check it out, especially if you're in the mood for some Cali skate, Saint Laurent, Dior, Todd Snyder
Strokes
aesthetic,
fan.
and if you love the Strokes. I do love the Strokes.
I like the Strokes. I don't love the Strokes.
Actually, I'm a bigger fan of late stage Strokes than I am of early Strokes.
Okay.
How about that?
I like the new single.
Yeah. I think my favorite Strokes album is Angles. People hate that one. Anyway. Okay.
We need to do a music episode soon.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even think we ever put out Club Cool Playlist 2.0. I think I totally biffed it.
Well, it's still on my phone.
Yeah. You did share it with me.
Mm-hmm.
I never added to it. 2.0, much like the podcast that we never released, will just be it will be the lost playlist.
That's good.
Yeah.
You'll have in order to find it, there's some weird puzzle you have to put together.
You have to put together a weird puzzle, and then you have to spend over $500 with us.
Well, yeah. So the reason I was memory being jogged here, the Q documentary. I just watched the one with the moth. Or the cicada.
Yes. Yeah, cicada. Yeah.
And that whole thing. That's pretty fun the puzzle, which I wouldn't even begin to know how to figure that out. But the people that can put that together, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's what Nike should start doing for the sneakers.
Q.
Are you finished with the doc yet?
No.
No.
But I've come to a conclusion on it.
What, on the doc or on where it's going?
Both.
What's your conclusion on the doc?
That I do not like those dudes, any of them.
The guys that are running 8chan?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty
shady, weird.
They're
little
weird dudes.
slime balls. But
yes.
I also have come to the conclusion that it is him, Code Monkey, that is behind Q. Don't say anything, Randy.
No spoilers from me.
Randy's a big Q guy.
No, sir. Yeah.
Huh? No, he's nodding no.
Okay. Let's talk about a slightly more established brand. Let's talk about Bottega Veneta. Has this come across your radar at all? Have you noticed an uptick in Bottega?
From the boots that you sent me, yes.
Yeah. So I'm basically these are basically, to me, it's kind of like the new Triple S. It's the new Balenciaga Triple S because they are giant boots. They are super clunky. They look huge no matter what you're wearing. And there are multiple versions of these. I've got them pulled up here if you're on youtube.com/washmedia. They're the Puddle, the Puddle boots, which are like full color rubber versions. And then there are also the leather ones, which have a lot of color blocking, and they have like this very interesting kind of curvature around the toe box. And let's get them pulled up here so we can.
They look like you should be wearing those on a shrimp boat.
Yes.
And they also look like they'll end up at UAL.
Well, I mean, eventually maybe, but right now they're selling like hotcakes.
They're hot.
They're hot. They're very hot. Here we go. The tire boots. So there's the Puddle boots and the tire boots. And this is if basically on Instagram, if you're not wearing Dunks or the ALD New Balance 550s, it's like you need to be in these. This is if you're going designer with your Explore page outfit, the Bottega boot is where it's at.
Okay.
I feel. Well, first, just to finish the Triple S reference, I was looking at these just online and seeing them on the gram, and as I actually started getting very stressed out about my Balenciaga Triple S's because I still couldn't believe how lucky I got buying them and then selling them at the exact right moment to where like my total cost was, I basically paid $170 to have them for 2 years or whatever it was.
Beautiful.
And if I had waited just a split second longer, I would have failed. I would have been.
Have they just totally crashed?
I think they are very difficult to resell for anywhere close to their retail price, but they're still pumping them out. They still pop up new versions and colorways on the e-com platforms. I see them, and they're more expensive than ever. They're $900, $950 per pair. But now I see them in the wild now, and I'm just like, whew, so glad I dumped.
Damn.
So glad I dumped.
Dodged a bullet there.
So I mean, don't get me wrong. They were super fun to have, but it's just one of those things. Anyway, this is giving me that vibe. Like, and these are even more expensive than a Triple S, obviously. And it's like I like them. They're cool. I get it. But man, it's 2021 just does not seem like the year to just be like, hey, check out these wacky boots. But they are all over the place. They do seem to be very popular, especially in like the designer circles, and basically kind of like a what's trending as far as the kind of the it goods. Now, the model that is also popping up in a ton of different colors is the Puddle sandal. So we'll come down here to those.
I like the lace ups. Those are cool.
Let's see. Which ones?
Up those.
Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to wear these with shorts.
That would be a look.
Denim shorts.
Yeah.
4-inch inseam.
Ooh.
Yeah. Let's see here. Let's see the sandals. All right. So this is the Puddle sandal. Now this I like.
Yeah, that's more palatable.
I'm feeling this. This
Yeah.
kind of this slides into the clog arena. It's kind of a mule, but it's got a back. It's I think it's all rubber, and I've not seen these as much in kit picks on the gram or anything. But I don't think these are going to go on sale because I don't think Bottega is going on sale. But at this point, but I'm very intrigued and I'm curious by these. And this is the type of funk. This is 2021 funk.
Mm-hmm.
I can walk around the house in these.
Yeah.
Easy on, easy off. You know? So, but just to speak a little bit more about Bottega Veneta, they even rebranded the gram as @New Bottega.
Huh.
And so you'll see, you'll hit the tags button on like some photos or some pictures or whatever and see New Bottega. And I for a while, I think I thought that was just like a fan account. Kind of like there was in the,
it's not verified.
in the Saint Laurent heyday. There was like Club Saint Laurent and that type of thing. That's what I thought it was, but it's okay. Wait, nope, you're right. This is also not actually Bottega, so this is more like Club Saint Laurent, but it has almost 600,000 followers.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why are they not?
It is.
verified?
It's an independently curated digital journal dedicated to Daniel Lee's work at the helm of Bottega Veneta.
Virgil's following.
Yeah. So that. Okay. Well, this just got even more interesting because
They don't have an account.
I don't think they have an account. I don't think Bottega has an account. Again, yeah, this is. So New Bottega is the de facto Instagram account for Daniel Lee's Bottega.
Huh.
Prior to the boots, which I think the reason this has popped up on my radar is because the guys are wearing the boots quite a bit. And the puddle boots and the tire boots. But Bottega has been the maker of like the women's it bag. They've had very, very popular bags. Like for women that are into, Celine handbags or like the Givenchy Pandora was so hot for a while, or Birkins or the YSL little clutches, all those stuff. If you're into the high-end designer purses, Bottega has been making some of the most sought after and Daniel Lee specifically for the last several seasons. And so as soon as you're on New Bottega, you're going to see a lot of this. That's what quite a bit of it is dedicated to
I like that green one.
to the handbags. This one, yeah, and Bottega prior to New Bottega, they have always, one of their like heritage kind of marks and signatures is what's called like their Intrecciato leatherwork, and that bag is basically that woven leather Intrecciato kind of blown up.
That's cool.
But they've been doing like tighter weaves of it on like men's belts and men's slip-ons. Looks more like this.
Yeah.
At a smaller scale.
Remember those belts, the old school like woven belts? No holes in it. You just kind of pick a spot.
Yeah, I still have a couple of them.
I'd like one.
Let a little long loose end kind of dangle out.
Yeah.
That's
what I rock with this belt. It's my one of two belts.
Get your sexy prep on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to bring prep back.
Where do you go belt shopping?
This is from J. Crew.
There you go. So
I don't ever tuck in, so the belt you'll never see.
Right. Yeah. I've been feeling the need for a new kind of like black belt of some sort. But one that's good for summer. I don't think I want leather.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I'll keep my eye out. Anyway, just it's kind of interesting to me how designers just seem to kind of like it's just kind of like a carousel, if you will. And not only are the designers always kind of switching houses and whatnot, but they just kind of take turns being the most popular. Right? It was Saint Laurent for a while, especially for men when Hedi was there. And then and then Alessandro at Gucci, obviously super, super popular. Virgil takes over Louis Vuitton, and they kind of have their moment. And right now, it absolutely seems like it's Bottega's moment to shine.
Mm-hmm.
I would argue that they are kind of the most in demand designer out there. Speaking of the Oscars, this was Coleman Domingo at the Oscars.
That's loud, baby.
Hot pink. Now that is hot pink. That's not California red.
No.
That's hot pink.
That's Bottega?
That's Bottega, I think. Oh yeah. No, I'm wrong.
Versace.
What the hell? Where did I end up? Where am I? I am on New Bottega. Why did this get posted on New Bottega? See, Phil, this is what happens when I don't do my research.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm on Tagged. Not New Bottega's posts.
Now, here we are.
Jeez, I am just royally messing this up. Yeah. Tagged was more interesting, to be honest.
Yeah, way more interesting.
So, yeah, I think for those of you constantly scrolling your Explore page, now that I've mentioned them, it's going to be the something bias, the frequency bias.
Mm-hmm.
You can start seeing these a lot. So
the algorithm.
Bottega and Seekings, 2 brands for the day.
One, well, no, they're both pretty cost prohibitive.
They are.
Bottega especially.
But yes, Bottega especially. So, I think that about wraps it up. That's what I had in the bag today, man.
Did you see the RealReal is opening a brick and mortar at the Domain?
Yeah, you sent me a link.
Yeah.
Interesting?
Yeah, it is. It's very interesting. I didn't know that was the route they were going to go, but I like it.
That they were going to start doing brick and mortars?
Yeah. I kept seeing that spray paint on Congress, like right outside the Howler store.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
People were tagging the concrete with the RealReal with a date.
Okay. I like it when they do that.
That day has come.
They did that for Daft Punk. Well, are you going to get up there?
Yeah.
What do you think? I don't know. It's interesting because it's like I'll be very, very curious to see how they merchandise that.
I know, right?
Because it's going to be pre-owned clothing.
Yeah, yeah.
But so is it going to feel like?
It looks like it from the picture.
Like, I wonder if it's going to feel. Are they going to try to get multiples of the same thing in there?
That's a great question.
Or is it going to feel very like more like a vintage store,
right?
Almost
like a high-end vintage store,
like more like Moss. Will it feel more like Moss?
Yeah.
Or will it feel more like UAL, for example?
I doubt it. I bet it'll be more curated than well put together.
That's what I would hope. Do you know if they're carrying men's?
No, I don't.
Because that's it. That's where I'm at.
That's where you're at.
Yeah, because
you're not buying women's clothing at the RealReal.
I'm not going to. But I love going to Moss. I love checking out Moss.
I've never been to Moss.
Really?
No, we used to live right down the street too.
I think it. I know. You know. I know Ash likes vintage and the RealReal.
Yeah.
Laura loves Moss.
Okay. Good.
Probably her favorite place to shop.
Really?
Surprisingly.
Huh.
Yeah. Just really cool stuff. It's like most of it's borderline untouched.
Yeah.
Good deals on some stuff. So worth checking out. Shoes too, for women.
Yeah.
Great selection of shoes. Yeah, the RealReal, brick and mortar. Bringing some life back into the Domain, maybe. It was kind of dead up there last time I went.
Have you been to UAL lately?
I've not.
Me either.
Need to check that out though too.
It's been poor.
Have you swung by anytime recently?
It's been a couple months, but yeah, and there was nothing.
Yeah. All right. So that wraps it up for us today. Go check us out, patreon.com/clubcool. We got some good content there coming for you to close out the month. Follow us on Instagram at clubcoolpod. And we'll be back next week.
Adios.
Bye-bye.